and welcome to another exciting video. In this one, we'll be covering data structure called task. We'll see some constructors, familiar methods, and finally, how it captures side effects through laziness. So over here, you can see we are making use of this data.task npm package, and this task has got a method called off. Now, when you're calling off, it is going to return on success the value that we have provided, and if I go ahead and say rejected, in that case when we fork it, it is going to give us the error hello. And here if we play with the numeric value like 1 over here, in that case you can see that it's just coming up as error 1. And if I go ahead and say off and then say of 1, so it says success 1. Now with success, what we can do is we can also make use of a map method over here. So when we say map, we can go ahead and make use of this for some addition. For example, we can take this number 1 and we can add 1 to it and then map this. So here you can see that it's adding and it's returning as 2. And when we do rejected over here, it's going to ignore that map and it's just going to print error. So here you can see that the output is coming as error 1. Now fork basically over here takes two methods, one for rejected and one for success. Now we could also chain over it. So if you have one map, you can go ahead and have another map over here. So now with off method over here, we can have chain of maps over here. So if I save this now, you can see that 1 and then it adds over here, it adds over here, and then we have the output as 3. So and again, if I go ahead and do the rejected version, it's going to just return error of 1. So here, as you can see, if I do rejected of 1, it's going to print error of 1. Now let's go ahead and create a method and we'll call it as launch task. Now this method that we have, as you can see, it is creating an instance of this task, and this task is expecting two things, reject and response. That's the success method. So here, if I close this and this, so we have the task definition done. Now within this, what we can do, let's log a few things first. So we'll say console.log and let's call it as launch tasks. So that's the message that we will have, and apart from this, we'll also return this response that we have. So if things are fine, it's going to return a response. Now that response is going to say task. That's what we are returning from this. So we have created launch task now. So here we have our launch task method, and when we are passing this X with the exclamation mark added, it's kind of adding it, but you don't see the output over here. It's going to return the output only when we'll be making use of this fork on top of it. So let's have that over here. And now if I go ahead and save this, you'll notice that it says launch tasks and then it returns this task as the result. So we have the task over here, and then the exclamation mark that we added over here with the map is being shown over here. Now if we don't run fork on it, you will notice that we are not going to get any result out of it. So if I go ahead and just comment this piece, save it, you don't get any result. So this is very good, because if our application was just this, then the caller of our function has to fork it. They are in charge of all of the side effects and the problems that come with that. So here what we'll do is we'll be assigning this whole thing into a variable. Let's call that as app. Now with this, what we can do is we can further go ahead and apply map on top of it. So we can just say app dot and then map and have another exclamation mark added to this, and then we can go ahead and fork it. There you go. So we have this task with another exclamation mark coming up. So the users can perhaps extend the computation before it runs, like we did with an additional exclamation mark on it. So before printing the result, they can do certain operations on that particular task. So this gives them the leverage or advantage of allowing things to be extended and the whole application remains pure.